All right, so today's video, guys, we're gonna be going over some specific details. We're gonna iron out a massive action plan as far as what Guitar Center should be doing in 2025 in order to be successful. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. For anybody new to the channel, welcome. Got a lot of interesting topics surrounding your everyday gear enthusiast. So if you haven't already, just hit that subscribe button. So we've all seen the ups and downs, the challenges, the struggles with Guitar Center, as well as many other retailers. These are just gonna be a couple things that I feel that we could implement to rebuild and resurrect this music retailer. Starting off with the basics, comes down to people and products. So you can't really be successful if you're not gonna have a quality team to support that. So we need to make sure that these stores are taking the appropriate steps to make sure that they're hiring friendly, knowledgeable staff. Let's get these guys on a sustainable pay plan. Let's make sure they're getting some training, they're well-versed in product knowledge, and they have the tools, the skills, the knowledge to be able to serve customers and ultimately drive sales volume. Let's get the people that want to win, that want to make the money, that want to actually do the work. And if you're gonna stand around with a cigarette just being super lazy with an attitude, look, man, we're just gonna have to trim the fat because we're not going to succeed as a business with low performing, low value people. So I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just gonna tell it like it is. Myself coming from a background of retail sales and management for over a decade, I've seen a lot of people come and go. At the end of the day, these are simple facts. So this is the formula. This is what it's going to take for any type of retail sales to succeed. Okay, so moving on to products. As I've said before on past videos, I've always found that Guitar Center tends to lack in that mid-range as well as that upper end boutique level of product. So I'm not saying that we need to have like outrageous like ticket prices that are just gonna give people sticker shock and they just feel like, oh man, it's too rich for my blood. But I think that there's way too much beginner like starter kit gear. And I just don't really think that that makes sense because we can't always assume that everybody is looking for entry level. We can't assume that everybody is on a budget. Maybe there is no budget, right? Maybe you do have some guys out there that are willing to throw down. They've got some deeper pockets. They want to go and spend maybe 3, 4, 5 grand on a guitar. So not to take anything away from the entry level crowd, I do think that it is important to make sure that you cover all of these different price points. Just make sure that you have all of your bases covered as far as various entry, mid, and upper tier price points. Okay, so products. We need to make sure that the products that we have, once we actually get the merchandise that customers are looking for, I would say regardless of price, we need to make sure that the products are in usable, playable condition. And that's gonna come down to having a decent setup as far as me walking into the guitar store, take something off the wall, look at it and like, okay, cool. This is actually something that's playable. How many times have we gone in, you grab something off the wall and it's like, dude, the action is so high, I could literally park a U-Haul truck underneath the strings. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous, right? Like nothing will stifle a person's appetite to buy than just like that initial disgust of like, ugh, I'm putting this thing back. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be successful in sales, you need to break down that friction and not feed your potential customers with objections where people are going to be, hey, I don't want this one. Do you have another one in the back? Can you order me a different one? Can I get a discount? Right? Like, I don't want to go ahead and feed those issues before we've even had like a conversation, right? Because if that guy goes and grabs a guitar off the wall, what's the first thing he's going to ask for when he encounters a sales guy? That is, of course, if he can actually find somebody in the store to help him, right? Hey man, can I get a discount on this, right? Like you don't want to start off on the wrong foot. So I think there needs to be a company standard. Every guitar that comes in, it needs a basic setup, right? Let's just get the action where it needs to be. Let's come up with some type of standard. Let's get the intonation dialed in. Let's make sure that all the electronics are working. We don't have any like loose knobs that are falling off. I'm not saying we need to go crazy. I'm not saying it needs to go on a plug machine, but just a very, very basic setup. Just something to get these guitars playable. You're gonna have a lot better results when you have your products in playable condition. Somebody commented on a video a while back. I thought they had a great example. This guy basically said, it would be like if you went to a car dealership, you're looking at vehicles on a lot and you want to do a test drive and the car salesman tells you that, hey, sorry man, we can't do a test drive. Like the cars, they have to be serviced before they can be driven, right? Like, dude, you're not going to be successful selling cars with undrivable cars. So it's going to be the same thing with the guitars. If it's not playable, I don't want it. I'm going to take my money elsewhere. Okay, so next on the list, guys, all locations need to have a proper equipped guitar tech on site. Now, I'm not saying this guy has to be like the legendary mountain sage, like the best luthier on the planet, but we need to have somebody who's competent enough to do basic repairs, basic setups. If a guy comes in, he wants to do a string change, maybe do like a pickup upgrade, swap out a bridge, whatever the case may be. This needs to be a company standard across the board. Another area where a brick and mortar store could potentially have an edge over like a digital e-commerce platform is I just don't have the ability to like just ship off my guitar somewhere else to get it set up, deal with shipping, damage, something getting lost, and just hope it comes back to me in one piece. If I can go to my local guitar center, basic setup, basic repair, because again, keep in mind, not everybody works on their own stuff, right? So that being said, if I'm gonna go into a physical storefront for a repair or service, you know what, there's a possibility while I'm there, maybe I'll buy another guitar, maybe I'll buy some strings, maybe I'll buy some picks, right? Maybe I'm gonna go look at something else. Maybe I'm gonna go buy a microphone stand. Maybe I'm gonna buy a guitar rack. Like these are all things that introduce the possibilities of customers buying more products when they go to visit the physical store. We need to have somebody on site who knows what they're doing, that can handle these basic setups just to provide that service to all customers. So moving on to order pickup. Now, my philosophy has always been order pickup should be, in theory, the most quick and efficient way for a customer to shop in a store. You've got a customer who's already made a purchase, he's already made his decision, he's already got that thing paid in full. Once you get that email, hey man, your item's ready to go, I'm gonna walk in, I should be able to immediately like distinguish where I am supposed to go to pick up this item. I shouldn't be wandering around hoping to chase down some random associate in the store that maybe could hopefully find my order and dig it out of the back, and maybe I'll eventually be able to get it and like stand around, etc. Right? You guys saw I posted a video not long ago, went to go pick up that Jackson in-store pickup. You know, busy time of year, I get it, this and that. I had to chase down a person. Hey man, I just want to grab this order pickup right quick. It's all ready to go. Got the notification. He couldn't find it. He went to go grab another guy. He was busy. He wasn't sure where it was either. He had to go deal with something else. Unfortunately, I wasn't really the priority, even though I had already committed to a purchase. The guy was still tied up dealing with some other customer fussing over an amp. So it's just like, okay, like let's put the guy who's already spent money, let's put him on the back burner while we go continue to help somebody else, right? So I feel like that's an issue there. They finally went, they were able to like locate the package, it was like in the back or something like that. But it's just, my point is there needs to be like a centralized destination where all orders are going to be in one spot where they can easily be found, right? Like whether it's a keyboard, a set of strings, a new guitar, a new amp, all in-store pickup really should be in one centralized location. So I do think this is an issue in a lot of stores. So this really should be a priority. We have to make sure that the in-store pickup is an efficient process. All right, now let's get into one of my favorites, and that is buy, sell, and trade. Yes, guys, used gear. I know this is often a controversial topic when it comes to Guitar Center. We've seen everything from just an abundance of like just low quality, like poor condition, low end gear. Sometimes it's just oversaturated with too much of the wrong thing. I would say with confidence, they need to be more selective about what they're buying and what they're not buying. It just doesn't make sense to have like piles and piles of Line 6 Spider amps that they're just gonna be sitting on. I mean, guys, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. If you end up with too much of the wrong thing, it just gives it kind of a ratty vibe, and it just, I think, brings down just the overall appearance of the store, right? I mean, I've gone in before into different like used rooms like within these stores, and like you'll see some old cabinets got like cobwebs in the back, right? Like just, it's just not good, man. I don't want it to feel like some ratty old yard sale. So I'm not expecting it to be some like specialty like boutique where it's just all exclusive like high-end stuff. Again, that's not my expectation, but I think they really need to be more selective about what they're buying and what they're not. Which leads me to my next point is used listings, guys. Condition, condition, condition. There needs to be a consistent standard as far as all of these different criterias for good, great, excellent, mint, whatever you want to call it. I saw Phil McKnight had a video the other day. I was laughing. He was talking about salvage condition for guitars as like an actual rating. I thought that was pretty hilarious, right? Like if you have say a Gibson where the headstock snapped off and glued back on, dude, salvage guitars, perfect. I love it. Just absolutely like, yeah, perfect description, man. It's hilarious. But anyway, there needs to be some type of standard. I know obviously condition is kind of subjective, depends on different people at different locations, but they need to come up with some type of formula and just figure out a consistent condition rating. And then on top of that, guys, we need a fair, accurate visual representation of used gear. I'm not expecting like a high-end professional photo shoot, doesn't need to be anything ridiculous, but I mean, what's with these undersized, like potato quality images? Like, I have literally no idea what I'm even looking at. Like, is that a guitar? Is it a giraffe? Is it a refrigerator? Like, dude, I don't know. So there needs to be some serious improvements if these guys want to quickly move through gear. Because at the end of the day, company has to pay money to get the gear, right? So the quicker you turn and burn, the more profitable it's going to be for the store. It's going to be a lot less efficient if you have people buy something, they pay for shipping, then they get it, and it's like maybe it's good, maybe it's not good condition, or there's like a bunch of dents or dings like that weren't shown like in the picture because it's on like the back of the neck, right? Like there's just so many things that can go wrong with that, which could be often alleviated if we could just have some better photos. So next on the list, guys, probably one of the biggest pain points I would say as a customer in Guitar Center is just the inefficiency in just a basic checkout. Like how many times have we gone into Guitar Center? I'm standing here with my strings, right? I'm just like, hey man, just can I check out? Can I check out? Somebody want to take my money, right? And it's just like, dude, I'm trying to make a purchase and I'm having to, again, chase someone down in order to spend my money, right? Like this is just not a way to win in sales. Maybe they can like implement some type of like express lane, like quick checkout, like self-serve kiosk. Maybe something like that would work. Now, on the flip side, you might hear that and be like, well, self-serve kiosk, like what's stopping them from just running out the door with the strings, right? Like, are you gonna have more like shoplifting? Okay, well, it's a valid point, but if a customer who's trying to spend money, right, I'm standing around, can somebody please ring me up for this? And they're not paying any attention to the guy who's trying to spend money. Do you think they're going to be paying any attention to the guy that's like just walking out with strings? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what are we going to do to make sure that like we don't have that business walk out the door? So these are all just like specific pain points. I would love to see like the revitalization, the resurrection, the rebuilding of Guitar Center. So if you guys have any thoughts, experiences, be sure to share them in the comment section down below. This is just an overall list, things that I've found that have been problems like in the past, just years and years of shopping at different locations. And I would say 100% all day, as a guy who comes from a retail background, I want nothing more than to see Guitar Center win, right? I don't want to see stores close. I want to see a continuation of having physical storefronts. So if people want to shop locally, they can shop locally, because you got to understand, not everybody wants to order everything online. So guys, thank you so much for checking out today's video. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more. Let's hope for the best for Guitar Center, and I hope everybody has an awesome day.